other people who want to not share with their client until November 25th, they could do whatever they want. But I have the biggest issues here. I am in all of these overt acts. I have all of these witnesses to deal with, and if I can't share this information with Mr. Williams, I lose 2.5 months of work because I can't share with him information, then that is just not appropriate. If I ask you, if the other people, if Mr. Kitchens thinks that that's great for him, then I don't care what Mr. Kitchens wants to do. He doesn't have to share anything with his client. But I am not agreeing, and I'd ask you to rework, at least for Mr. Williams. There is not a cell phone in the Cobb County Jail. He is in isolation by himself. His cell was just searched yesterday.
Reports to be an Instagram post from Mr. Williams last weekend, which would have been from the Cobb County Jail. I can't ascertain that I saw him do it. But there was an Instagram post.
Hold on 1 second. I think somebody's talking at this point. I don't know if somebody else controls Mr. Williams' Instagram account. I mean, because he obviously probably does not have a phone in jail. So
Communications is being had. I don't know if Mr. Williams directed that, but it appears to be on his Instagram account. I would believe that he directed something, which is still.
And it's going to get somebody either hurt or somebody in a lot of trouble. So that's why I would just say, Mr. Steele, you well articulated your point. I'm going to leave it as is right now. I understand.
Well, I'll ask you to reconsider in the future because.
Yes, sir. I understand that.
Check it out now. Holy, now please tell me this ain't so. Don't tell me that Young Thug about to sink himself with some Twitter fingers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Young Thug got to be the new reincarnation of goddamn Meek Mill, okay? What are you doing, Thugger? Now, Thugger is behind bars but tweeting up a storm, and his tweets are coming back to bite him because the judge is ruling that his lawyer can't share any information with Thug because of fear that since Thug might have some type of external communication, he might tweet something out, he might put something in the air that could be used to threaten witnesses, aka the snitches. Now, let me just kind of give you the whole rundown, okay? Basically, there was a hearing, and the hearing was Brian Steele, which is Thug's lawyer, trying to make an appeal to say, hey, listen, yo, I want to and I need to be able to communicate with my client. He needs to be able to see everything that I see because he's facing the most serious charge of everybody locked up because y'all are accusing him of being the head of this gang. So everything that is committed by the gang falls up under him, including murders, okay, thefts, drug dealing, assaults, robberies, all of that. Thug is kind of on the hook for. He's the leader. They even say he sanctioned a murder, right? Now, while he's in jail, he's not going to get out, right? They're not letting him out on bail. What should be happening is that he should be taking his time with his lawyer, combing over all the evidence that the state is providing to him, that he could figure out a way how to knock everything out once it goes to trial. Okay? However, the judge in the case basically said, yo, y'all lawyers can't share no info with y'all clients no more. You know why the judge said that? Because the prosecutor convinced the judge that one of the defendants, okay, they don't know if it's Thug, but one of the defendants put out a privileged piece of document, which was a discovery piece of document, which basically allowed people to identify one of the snitches. So because the judge don't want the snitches to get intimidated or for people outside of the process to figure out who it is, they're putting a restriction that the lawyers cannot share the confidential, privileged discovery info with their clients. They could talk about it, but they can't send the paperwork to the person being charged. Now, again, Young Thug lawyer is saying, no, that's not fair. Like, yo, we're representing Young Thug, and y'all are accusing him of 39 different things. Like, everything the gang did falls under him. We're going to have to do a lot of preparation. We need to really prep. And if I can't share stuff with my client, we're kind of handicapped. Now, the judge was thinking about it. Maybe that's right. Except the prosecutor came back and said, no, Your Honor, listen. The exact reason why we don't want to lift that November, because apparently after November 15th, they could share. But that means Young Thug would be sitting for 2 months and not knowing what the hell is really being going on or shared between the state and his attorney in terms of evidence. So basically, the prosecutor came back out and said, yo, Your Honor, Well, Young Thug is tweeting up a storm these days. He's locked up. We don't know what's going on with him. We don't know if he got a phone in there. Okay? For all we know, shoot, he has such a large audience, and also he could do it in a coded way. If he gets some privileged information that we provide in terms of evidence, maybe he could tweet out some type of coded way that might say, hey, go intimidate that guy, go do whatever. Again, this allowed the judge to say that they're not going to lift the date, which basically means for the next 2 months, Young Thug cannot see no paperwork in his own case. And it was kind of upheld because the prosecutor used his tweets. Now, if you're wondering what the hell is Young Thug tweeting, okay, he's locked up. What is he tweeting, right? First of all, this is what he's tweeting, okay? I love me some Spider. I'm talking to my roommate, and we're wondering if he could swim 100 miles from the middle of the ocean back to shore. Michael Phelps, and Phelps answered, and he said, how long you think it would take? And basically, he then said, yo, have you ever fucked a girl that was so wet/good that you slapped the back of her neck? Then he also said, hey, send me this photo. I'm trying to do something real fast. Now, again, this is my whole point. You're fighting for your life. You're fighting for your freedom. You need to be working in tandem with your lawyer. Your lawyer is getting info, which is the evidence that the state has to try to say that Thug did all these things or he's a mastermind. But you handicap yourself because you're tweeting and doing other things that now you can't even see the own paperwork in your own case. You're not helping your lawyer out at all. I'm wondering why Young Thug is tweeting up a storm. Why is he having Twitter fingers, okay? Now, again, granted, we know Thug is an artist, and by the way, he does have a brand, but here's the thing. None of these tweets even are coming across to say, hey, this is a disclaimer, it's ran by management, this is not Thug. So, again, it plays in court like Thug might have this communication with the public, right? Now, here's the thing, and this is on Thug's defense. Thug basically said, bro, well, to keep it real, like, y'all have the real phone call where I called over the jail phone to my friend, and I told him to tweet it. So I'm telling my guy to tweet this, so it's not really me. However, the judge at this point, because everything is discretionary, it's not the beyond a reasonable doubt part, the judge ain't buying it. The judge is like, no, I'm going to just stick with it. So basically, for the next 2 months, the judge didn't change the ruling. Young Thug cannot see no documents in his own case. That is, he's going to have to fight for his life. Again, I'm wondering what the tweeting's for. I don't get it, but why do it when you're in this situation and it's going to hurt you? Anyway, get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like them, subscribe to Academics.